Hello everybody, this is Alex or RCG Blade, and this is just going to be a quick video guide on the reinforcement mechanic in Nuclear Nightmare. So if you are not aware, reinforcements are the game's version of a respawn, where you are able to call in a teammate who has died and able, to get them to respawn into the game. That way they're not just stuck spectating for, 40 minutes. So I am going to, like I said, just cut through all of the misinformation, all of the confusion, all that stuff. And everything that I am about to tell you, I promise, is 100% factual from the mouth of the devs themselves. So, let's get into it. Now, what are the prerequisites to call in a reinforcement? First off, reinforcements must be enabled. Whoever is hosting the match needs to make sure that they do not disable the reinforcement mechanic, or it will not work for obvious reasons. The next thing you're going to have to do is solve one classified. That's right, you only have to do one classified in order to unlock this mechanic. You have a bank of reinforcement tokens that you can use to respawn a teammate. This number, the amount of tokens that you have in a single match, is based on two things. The first thing is simply the number 10. So you start with 10. And then, whatever the host sets the classified minimum difficulty to, which would dictate how many classified materials you need to collect before you can call for the evac heli. Whatever the amount you have to collect in the classified minimum difficulty setting, you will reduce that from the initial 10 that we started with, right? So let's say you have classified minimum difficulty set to easy. That means you have to recover a minimum of 2 classified material objectives in order to call in the heli evac. With that scenario, you would have a total of 8 reinforcement tokens, because you started with 10, reduced by the amount of the minimum classifieds required to evac, and then you are left with your number, right? So easy, you would have 8 reinforcement tokens. With the normal mode, you would have 6 reinforcement tokens. For hard, you would have 4 reinforcement tokens. And lastly, on the Nightmare classified minimum difficulty, it requires 8 classified materials collected in order to evac. You would be left with only 2 reinforcement tokens. Now, all of this token talk is good, but there's another thing that people tend to get really confused on. So, in the game, you can reinforce anybody who did not get turned from being infected. Whether they killed a monster and the ghouling or head spider came off of that monster and instantly infected them, or let's just say they got infected, never vaccinated, and then ultimately died and transformed from their infection. Players who turn from infection in any capacity cannot be reinforced. Any other player, if you die from fall damage, you die from friendly fire, you just get killed by a monster without, turning, you can be reinforced. But if you become infected and die due to the infection and transform, or die infected and then transform, it's that transformation part that will make it so you cannot be reinforced. That is why it is important to make sure you always have a vaccine on you. You are always testing after every encounter to make sure you have not become infected, and you will be able to be respawned. So just keep an eye on that. If you want to get reinforced, make sure you're not getting infected. Don't put yourself in harm's way. That's probably how you died in the first place, but still, these are the legitimate requirements and the mechanics of the reinforcement feature. So remember, only on the glowing green laptops can you access this. You just open it up, it'll immediately have a pop-up, yes, and then you can keep reinforcing people up to the amount of tokens that you have. So remember, you are limited by your reinforcement tokens. Use them wisely. And it currently will reinforce the person who died most recently. So if you want to reinforce your buddy who died 3 deaths ago, you're going to have to reinforce 3 times to reach him. So all of this is subject to change. The game is in early access, but that is it for the mechanics. So hopefully this video can help you. Hopefully this kind of dispels some confusion, and you're able to go into your future matches with a bit more knowledge of what's going to happen. So, like always, thank you everyone for tuning in. I've been Alex RCG Blade. Take care and have a good day.